Good afternoon, everyone. Today is the day 7 of the End Bad Governance protest in Nigeria. There is a naming game going on in Nigeria. Today, we are going to discuss and analyze what have been going on in this protest and also what is happening in this protest. I have a guest today that I will introduce to you in this broadcast. But before that, Tinubu is now naming the northern political big wings that they are the cause of this ongoing protest, which is very, very sad to hear that. That is so unfortunate. However, some political, jobbers like Reno Omokri and some other persons are now blaming P2B and Omoyole Sowore for the protest that has been going on. But who are we going to blame for this one?
When trouble sleep, nyaga go wake up. But he dey find, he dey find. Malala, he go get you. He go get Malala. When can't sleep, black go bite him tail. But he dey find, Malala, he dey find. Malala, he go get you. Ain't no same job. He sit down for house. He dey look for job. Mr. Lala come wake him up. He say, Mr. Pay me your rent. What he dey find? He dey find. Lala, he go get to go. He go get Lala. My friend just come from prison. He dey look for work. Waka day and night. Policeman come stop am for road. He say, Mr. Charge you for my brain. What he dey find? He dey find. He go get you. He go get Mr. Husband married for church. He do big party. Then start to this run. Because he loved the wife. Mrs. wife gone away. Back manager ran come. He said, Mr. Pay me your debt. But he dey find. Collect us you. He dey find. He go get you. When trouble sleep, nyaga go wake up. But he dey find, he dey find. Baba, he go get to you. He go get Baba. When can't sleep, black go bite his tail. But he dey find, he dey find. Baba, he go get to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today is the 7th day of the End Bad Governance protest. As you know, a lot has been going on. So today, the President Bola Tinubu is blaming Atiku Abubakar, who is the former Vice President of Nigeria, and he is the former PDP flag bearer. So Atiku Abubakar is surprised to hear from Tinubu that he's one of the people who are causing the protest that is ongoing. For me, it's surprising because these people, they have lost everything. They have lost idea. They don't even know who to blame. Today, the Inspector General of Police is telling us that some people from diaspora are the ones that are sponsoring the protest. Tinubu is telling us that it's Atiku, another big political wing in the north. Tinubu's aides are saying that it is Sowore and P2B. So who is the one causing all these things? I know that they are running scatter because of the invasion of Russia flag. But you know what? We don't know.
When trouble sleep, nyaga go wake up. But he dey find, he dey find. Malala, he go get you. find my lover, he go get you. He go get my lover. Say no same job. You sit down for house, he dey look for job. Mr.
So this afternoon, I have a guest that will follow me to discuss. Because the federal government of Nigeria, they are trying to make this situation as if this protest is not justified. They are trying to make people to feel that protesting is a crime. They are trying to make people feel that, oh, this protest is all sponsored, that this protest is being sponsored by political elements and so on and so forth. So a lot of things have been going wrong in Nigeria, but we have to say the truth. We have to hear the nail at the head. Let me tell you, I do not blame anyone who are protesting, including me myself, because I am protesting and I am proud of it. I'm not afraid of anything. So those people who are protesting, they are not to be blamed at all. There is nothing or any reason why you can blame people, even those people who are carrying Russian flag, even though the reason why we are protesting, we don't want to call for anarchy. We don't want to do anything contrary to the law. But I do not blame them. You know, there is a particular point you will push someone to, the person will overreact. That is the situation in Nigeria is now. Any place that you store a yam and goats die dead, you know that it is not hunger that killed that goat. So if you have a house, you have a room, or you have a barn, and you have goats all around, and the goats dies of hunger, hey, disbelieve that fact. Know that it is not hunger that killed that goat. Meaning there is another thing that killed that goat. That is wickedness, because goat is not supposed to die in the abundance of yam, where they have yams that the goats eat. Now, Nigeria have abundance of resources. Everything you can name and mention, every Nigerian citizen is supposed to be on payroll every month. If these people will be truthful to everything, the resources they are taking from our land, taking it to abroad to build their empire. But you know what? The citizens have come out to say enough is enough.
When trouble sleep, nyaga go wake up. But he dey find, he dey find. Malama, he go get you. He go get Malama. When can't sleep, black go bite him tail. But he dey find, Malama, he dey find. Malama, he go get you. Say no same job. You sit down for house, he dey look for job. Mr. Lala come wake him up. He say, Mr. pay me your rent. But he dey fine. He dey fine. Lala, he go get you go. He go get Lala. My friend just come from prison. He dey look for work. Waka waka day and night. Policeman come stop am for road. He say, Mr. Tell you for my brain. But he dey fine. He dey fine. He go get you. He go get Mr. Husband married for church. He do big party. Then start to this run. Because he loved the wife. Mrs. Wife gone away. Back manager ran come. He said, Mr. pay me your debts. But he dey fine. Don't let us see you. He dey fine. He go get you. When trouble sleep, nyaga go wake up. But he dey fine. He dey fine. He go get you.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. As I said before, I have a guest today that will follow me to discuss what is going on in Nigeria. But what I don't like about what is going on today is the blaming game that the federal government is trying to put on Atiku Abubakar, on Omoyole Sowore, on P2B, on Nasser El-Rufai. They are just calling names upon names. They are trying to, lay the allegations of this protest. But I thought the Inspector General of Police told us before that they have some people from diaspora who are sponsoring the protest. So the Tinubu's aide will come out to say it is Omoyole Sowore and P2B, and President himself today is saying some political big wins like Atiku, Nasser El-Rufai from the northern part of the country. So the question is, why are these people trying to lay a blaming game on people? Why they know the actual reason why people are protesting, which has to do with the hunger in the land, which has to do with the insecurity in the land, the corruption in the governance. And that is why we are saying we must end the bad governance. And anytime they think that this protest is ending, we are going to regroup and start this protest again. Before this protest begins, we warn them that, look at, people are hungry. Right from 6 months ago, we have been saying this. People are hungry. People are this. And when you try to stop peaceful protesters, meaning you are inviting a violent revolution. And now, there is something I want you to watch from this honorable member from Kaduna. That explains the preparation of this protest. Why this protest can take even more than 7 years. This protest will build a new idea. Anytime there is a bad governance in Nigeria, the politicians, they themselves can never breathe. And we are not going to allow them to breathe. Listen to what this man said.
These youths, these various groups that have been protesting, have given the signs within the course of the last 6 months that due to the state of the nation, we are in dire straits. There's hunger in the land, there's starvation, there are issues of misgovernance, bad governance, insecurity, and a plethora of issues that have been bicycled all over the media. I don't need to revisit them. But what is happening is that these hydra-headed monsters that we're talking about are largely responsible for the protests. One would have expected that the Nigerian state and the minders of the president and those in charge of the management of information would have read the signs and would have sat down in a situation room, a war situation room, sort of, a crisis situation room, to debate, to analyze, to make SWOT analysis of the areas of strengths, weaknesses, and what have you, and advise the president holistically, but advise him truly. It does appear from my little experience of the days that I was a reporter in Dorden Barracks to, the time that I covered the presidency up to the presidential villa some, a decade and a half ago. There are people in government that are afraid to look at their principal in the face and say, Mr. President, there is a problem with this and this and that. They are afraid that they might lose their jobs. And so you have a president that is almost literally cocooned within the presidential villa, not probably given the requisite information. Probably he does not have the kind of knowledge that will make him come up with an informed decision. Or people are just applying a laissez-faire attitude and approach to issues that are critical to our national survival. And they don't seem to worry. When people, told us about the credentials of the president coming on board as a candidate and now as a president, they paraded his credentials, leading Lagos. But at the time he left Lagos, there was a 12-year interregnum between Fashola and Ambode, and another probably 4 years of Sanwo-Olu. So there appears to have been a situation where we have a president that does not have the sufficient knowledge of leading a nation at the national level and coming with the mindset of Lagos. And in Lagos, he was, like you said, an imperial leader. But that is not to say, I know you inferred, but that is not to say that the president is not smart,
right,
or that he is not competent to lead Nigeria. No, it is, we are all in this together. Right now, as I speak to you, what I expected was to have seen the minders of the president, everybody coming on board.
I'd like you to land on that. So sorry, I need to, come in again.
Yes.
Can we really put all of the blame at the doorstep of the president? What about the governors who are closer to the people? And let's even narrow it down to how, this protest went on in the North generally. In spite of there's a Northeast Development Commission, there's a Northwest Development Commission that was just set up only recently.
Yes.
Does it say a lot about the level of discontent in the North? And can you put all the blame at the doorstep of the president?
No, not at all. The president said it himself that the buck stops at his desk.
Right.
All right. And Nigerians elected the president to perform, to deliver on good governance. And so the president cannot escape our scrutiny and criticism. When you look at the governors, the character, the behavior, the way they lead, mostly you're talking about the northern governors, right? But governors generally, there is this display of extravagance, of obscene opulence. Convoys that will drag 15 to 20 cars. And not only the governor's convoys, no, you have the convoys of their first ladies. And the governors are sitting on, it's like an empire. They call the shots. They do everything. And the Nigerian population, the Nigerian public, the peasants, the laymen that we think don't understand what is happening, you can cut, there is palpable discontent and anger that you can literally cut through with knife. In the North, if I take a minute to land. In the North, we have, a biting state of insecurity. Sokoto, Zamfara, Kebbi, and Katsina are literally on a lockdown. There is hardly more than 15 to 25% of agricultural activities going on in those states. The lands, the territories have been taken over and overridden by bandits. So people are no longer on the farms. People are angry. They're not asking for you to build roads for them or create, estates for them. They are only asking for a measure of security to be in place so that they can get back to their normal lives.
Do we understand the implication of what we're dealing with? Listening to you, one is tempted to ask the long-term implication of these protests, these hunger protests in the Northeast and specifically in northern Nigeria. Do the people, the leadership of Nigeria, northern Nigeria, Northeast, understand the dire situation which you just painted?
I think they are completely detached from the people. They are detached from the people in the sense that they would rather deal with courtiers. They would rather deal with people that will be the yes men, that will tell them what they want to hear instead of what obtains on ground. The governors would rather deal with their yes men, their surrogates, and their pretenders all over. how do you explain the level of poverty in the north? And you have governors. The president just said a couple of weeks ago, I mean a couple of days ago, through the Minister of Information, the amount of money that was released by the federal government to states. Until that information came out, some of us didn't even know. Let me draw a kind of, let me give you a narrative, something that happened with, Dr. Reuben Abati, myself, and former President Goodluck Jonathan. When former President Muhammadu Buhari, while campaigning in Kaduna, and Shehu Dahiru Bauchi were, remember, there was an attempted assassination on them. And I was away, I was out of the country in Jeddah. And there was a phone call from the presidential villa. Hello, this is Reuben Abati. Hold on, Mr. President wants to speak to you. I was like, what? And President Goodluck Jonathan said, look, we have this problem in Kaduna, and you are supposed to be on ground in Kaduna. What are you going to do about it? And I told Mr. President through, Dr. Reuben Abati that, look, we will get to work. We will come back and make sure we open up the communication for people to ventilate their anger and for government minders to speak to the people. And that was what we did. But right now, you have people who sit back, who are so comfortable in their zones and are so afraid to come out and speak to the president on behalf of the Nigerian state. That is their job. Well, these youths, these various groups that have been protesting, have given the signs within the course of the last 6 months that due to the state of the nation, we are in dire straits. There's hunger in the land, there's starvation, there are issues of misgovernance, bad governance, insecurity, and a plethora of issues that have been bicycled all over the media. I don't need to revisit them. But what is happening is that these hydra-headed monsters that we're talking about are largely responsible for the protests. One would have expected that the Nigerian state and the minders of the president and those in charge of the management of information would have read the signs and would have sat down in a situation room, a war situation room, sort of, a crisis situation room, to debate, to analyze, to make SWOT analysis of the areas of strengths, weaknesses, and what have you, and advise the president holistically, but advise him truly. It does appear from my little experience of the days that I was a reporter in Dorden Barracks to, the time that I covered the presidency up to the presidential villa some, a decade and a half ago. There are people in government that are afraid to look at their principal in the face and say, Mr. President, there is a problem with this and this and that. They are afraid that they might lose their jobs. And so you have a president that is almost literally cocooned within the presidential villa, not probably given the requisite information. Probably he does not have the kind of knowledge that will make him come up with an informed decision. Or people are just applying a laissez-faire attitude and approach to issues that are critical to our national survival. And they don't seem to worry. When people, told us about the credentials of the president coming on board as a candidate and now as a president, they paraded his credentials, leading Lagos. But at the time he left Lagos, there was a 12-year interregnum between Fashola and Ambode, and another probably 4 years of Sanwo-Olu. So there appears to have been a situation where we have a president that does not have the sufficient knowledge of leading a nation at the national level and coming with the mindset of Lagos. And in Lagos, he was, you know, like you said, an imperial leader. But that
When trouble sleep, nyaga go wake am. But he dey find, he dey find. Malala, he go get you. Malala, when can sleep, black go bite him tail. But he dey find, Malala, he dey find. Malala, he go get you. Then I lost a job. He sit down for house. He did look for job. Mr. Lala come wake him up. He say, Mr. Pay me your rent. What he dey find? He dey find. Lala, he go get you. My friend has come from prison. He dey look for work. Waka waka day and night. Policeman come stop am for road. He say, Mr. Tell you for wondering. What he dey find? He dey find. He go get you. He go get Mr. Husband married for church. He do big party. Then start to this ram. Because he loved the wife. Mrs. Wife gone away. Back manager ran come. He said, Mr. Pay me your debt. What he dey find? Let you. He dey find. He go get you. When trouble sleep, nyaga go wake am. But he dey find, he dey find. Baba, he go get you. He go get Baba. When can sleep, black go bite his tail. But he dey find, he dey find. Baba, he go get you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining. What is happening in your area? What is happening in your area? At this very moment, we have to receive some calls. So that WhatsApp call, that WhatsApp number on the screen, you can use it to call us on WhatsApp. We are going to receive it and share your opinion with us. What is going on in your area? The good news over here is that, you know, so many people, they were arrested because they were waving Russia flag. So many people were arrested for just protesting peacefully. They are not carrying any arms. It was police that was carrying arms and so on and so forth. But the most important thing is that these people have been released. So they were released. I know that some of them are still in the detention, but most of them have been released. So that is the most important thing there. So please, you can call the number and tell us what is going on in your area. As I said before, Tinubu and his administration, they are playing a blame game. They are saying that Atiku Abubakar is the one sponsoring the protest now. That is Atiku Abubakar and big political wings in the north. I'm so surprised to hear that from President and his cabinet. Before, Onanuga was saying it was P2B. Today, Reno Mokris is saying it's Omoyole Sowore. How confused can these people be? Why are they so confused? Why are they so confused? So, give us a call. Let's hear from you and see what is going on in your area. Over here, things are getting calmer, but people are getting more angry. You have to understand this statement. Over here, things are getting calmer, but people are getting more angry. So, you know what that means? That is to say that this protest is not going to end. Maybe if you don't see people on the street always again. This protest is something that is going to continue. It's going to continue because people are tired. So, let's have this caller. Please, as I said, you can just call us through the WhatsApp number there and share with us what is in your area. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, good morning.
Hello, good morning. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem. Please tell the viewers your name and where you are calling from.
My name is Winona and I'm calling from Abuja in Nigeria.
Okay. All right. First of all, I really want to ask you this question because you are an African American. And you have been, in Nigeria for some time. You have stayed for a reasonable, period of time. I want to ask you, the protest by the citizens of Nigeria, is it justifiable?
Most definitely. Most definitely. The people have every right to protest because they feel like the government has not been serving them and have not been meeting the needs of the people. So I definitely am in full support of the protests.
Okay. Now, have you seen the way the government is trying to clamp down people who are protesting by arresting them? Amnesty International just released a statement that 1,000 people were in detention yesterday, and a lot of people have been reportedly killed, including a 17-year-old boy in Kaduna State. How do you reason, or what is your evaluation to the opposition of the government towards the protest?
Okay, I heard most of the question, but I believe what you're asking me is, have I been seeing the resistance that the government has been giving the people?
Yeah.
Since they've been protesting. Okay, I have. I saw the very first day when they released tear gas on the people here in Abuja. I was appalled. I couldn't believe what I was seeing because they were peaceful protesters. No one had weapons.
Yeah.
No one was doing anything violent. I saw what they were doing in Kaduna. I've been watching. I've been keeping a close eye because I'm here. I'm on ground, and I couldn't believe that they released tear gas on innocent, peaceful protesters. And tear gas is a chemical weapon that's banned from using in wartime. And I don't understand why the government would release a chemical weapon, and that's releasing chemical warfare on its own people just for protesting and saying, I'm hungry.
That is most unfortunate.
Can help me take care of my family.
Unfortunate.
I can't. I don't have the word. I mean, it's appalling to me. It's a gross violation of human rights. And everyone has a right to peacefully protest if they feel like their government is not serving the needs of the people. And definitely, the government is not meeting the needs of the people here in Nigeria. Nigeria became a member of the United Nations. They became a member in 1960, and they signed a treaty that stated they will not use chemical weapons.
All right, the question I want to ask you.
In 1990.
Yeah, the question I want to ask you again. If you are a Nigerian citizen, what do you think, or what advice do you have for the citizens? What do you think they should do to react to all these things that the government is doing against them?
No, I believe that you guys are doing a really great thing by protesting. Protesting is getting their attention.
Okay.
I also believe that it may be necessary for you to think about submitting a complaint to the United Nations, a human rights violation complaint, if the government continues to ignore your cries and your demands. Because even the international law, if I could get into it, international law trumps domestic law. And if a national government continues to violate the human rights of a people, which is what is happening here, and you went to the government and you said, hey, I need help us, we're hungry, we need jobs, we need clean water, we need security, and the government continues to ignore your demands and your cries, you have a right to complain to the United Nations and submit an official, formal human rights violation complaint. And I could post a link to the website at the United Nations where you could submit a complaint if you choose to do so. You may be an elderly person, or if for some reason you can't participate in the protest, maybe you have physical limitations or what have you. You definitely still have a voice. You can complain to the United Nations and get their attention. Because Nigeria did sign a treaty stating they would not use chemical weapons in the 90s, and they're violating that right now.
But most of the time, you know, all these United Nations and IMF, all these international organizations, most of the time, they are not for the people. Most of the time, they don't come to the side of the people unless they have interest in that country. Because most of the time, there are so many petitions, including to the International Criminal Court. There are so many petitions. This president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that is seated there in Aso Rock, during his campaign, he was seen on a public, video saying that if he's not winning, that his supporters should snatch it, grab it, and run away with the ballot boxes. But nobody could apprehend him. The security operative could not invite him, and so on and so forth, including, like, let me tell you, like the Senate president there. The Senate president, the legislatures are supposed to checkmate the executives. But in Nigeria case, the senators and the House of Rep, that is the legislatures, all of them, they told us that anything the president says, that they are going to do it. And that is contrary to the work of the legislatures. So we have complete clowns who are in the government offices. And these people are not ready to understand that the purpose of a nation is all about the citizens. Like they define democracy as the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. But in Nigeria, we don't have democracy. What we have is just, grabbing powers. Your ability to grab power through torture, through bribery, through corruption, that makes you a leader in Nigeria, not the people's will. So if you are in this position and you happen to be a Nigerian citizen, I know you love Nigeria so much, you have been visiting Nigeria, and you have a kind of passion to stay in Nigeria forever. So the question I'm asking you is, apart from this writing to the international media, International Criminal Court or United Nations, what else can we do? Or do you think that can we receive a rapid response from the UN or International Criminal Court about all these human rights violations?
I believe that the more complaints that they receive, I'm going to cite, and I know that the United States is not Nigeria, but everybody saw what happened with George Floyd a few years ago, and the world saw George Floyd getting pretty much executed by a white police officer. Now, I don't know if the world knows, but the family of George Floyd submitted a human rights complaint violation after the world found out about what was going on with him, and they witnessed it. And I do believe that other complaints came in to the United Nations, and eventually, I don't know if you guys know, but Derek Chauvin, the officer who killed George Floyd is now in prison. He's going to be in prison for the rest of his life. So justice is possible. I know that that Nigeria is a different machine and they run by their own rules and they sometimes make up rules as they go. But I believe, in addition to protesting, those who can protest, please continue to protest. It's your right. It's your human right to protest.
All right.
But also.
All right. See, I want to state this fact emphatically without any iota of contradiction. You see, America is totally different from Nigeria. America have a working system, a working political system. That is why the officer who killed George Floyd was arrested and justice was done in the favor of the masses and the family of George Floyd. But in the case of Nigeria system, a president gave a speech after so many people have been killed. He did not even recognize people who have been killed. The president did not even condemn police for killing people. And this is the system we are talking about. It is their families are in the judiciary. In the legislatures, it is their family. In the executive, it is their family. So they are one family, group of people called themselves cabal that are holding this nation to ransom. So I am not having the confidence to say that what happens in America could happen in Nigeria because of the weak system and the corrupt system that we have. What do you have to say about this?
Well, that makes me really sad because I want to believe that there is a solution. There has to be a solution to this issue. Okay. Nigeria doesn't deserve what it's going through. I don't know. I mean, I'm fairly new here. I don't know why it's like this. I don't know why the government seems it's against its own people.
Yeah.
But all I can say is continue to protest, and eventually the world is going to take notice. And once the world sees what's been going on here, I do believe that something will be done. I don't know exactly what that something is. I wanted to believe that maybe it would be the United Nations intervening. I don't think that it could hurt. It could not, as more and more people need to submit a complaint. The more people or more complaints they receive, the more attention it's going to get. Yes, social media is showing everything that's going on with the videos. That's definitely needed to back up all of the complaints. But I just want to believe that there is something that can be done for Nigeria. And I know that Nigeria is going to be great again. But it's going to be on the backs of people that are going to speak up and continue to be brave, continue to be strong. I know I'm not a Nigerian citizen, but I will do whatever I can to support what you guys are doing because I believe in what you're doing. I know that it's your right to do it. And I applaud you, and I'm proud. I'm proud to be here to witness and see and be a part of it. But I just want to encourage Nigeria to just stand strong, be strong, continue to be strong. You're the most intelligent, creative, wisest, strongest people I know. And I'm not just saying that. I know, and I've lived here for a little bit, and I believe that. And I know that whatever wickedness that is in high places is oppressing the people, it has to come down. It will come down. I believe that with everything in me.
All right. Another thing that is bothering me is that you see the rate of hardship in Nigeria at this moment. There is no doubt that it is going to increase next year. Now, this is the reason why I say it's going to increase next year. This year, so many people did not plant. So many people did not go to farm because of insecurity challenges in our bushes. Kidnappers are there. Bandits are there kidnapping people. And most of the people are afraid to go to the farm because they don't have money to pay ransom. And when they are kidnapped, the security agencies like police are not, they don't even have the courage to go after the kidnappers. And most of the time, when the kidnappers are caught, you take them to the police station, they will tell you that a call came from above and they will get them released. What sort of country is this? And how are we going to go about this? Now, we are crying that we have shortage of food and inflation in our country, but I am so worried about what is going to happen next year. What could happen? Let me put it in this way. What could happen next year? Because people did not plant this year. What they planted last year is what they are harvesting this year, and there is hunger. What about next year that people did not plant this year? What are they going to harvest? Absolutely nothing. And that is what so many people from the House of Representatives have been warning the government. Like, there is a video I want to play now. Most people from the lower chamber, I mean the House of Representatives in Nigeria, they are not putting, their words or statements in this protest because they warned the government before time. Some members of the Senate who warned the government, they suspend them. So there is I don't know, an adjective I will use to qualify what we are seeing in this government now. Maybe you can listen to this video I'm going to play by a House of Representative member warning ahead what is going to happen next year. Let's take a listen.
The hunger we faced from the beginning of this year for next year is going to be worse, because you have to look at their strategy. Now they are trying to stop people from going to farms, especially in the northeast, in the northwest, and the north central. They know if they do that, the whole country will be in hunger and there will be agitation. People can take weapons against government. We shouldn't take it lightly. You should understand this. We had issues of hunger in January, February, and March. And we will have worse if we didn't stop these people from preventing people to go to farmlands and cultivate their farms.
You're not recognized. You're not recognized.
Please, Honorable Agoja, sit down, please.
Okay, I believe maybe you listen, you're able to understand what the man said, right?
Yeah, I believe I got the gist of what he was saying.
Yeah, the man was warning that what is going to happen next year, that it will be unbearable because people are no longer going to the farms. People are not planting. So that is why I am so worried. Because, I was born and brought up from the village, from the rural. I know what happened in the village. Most of the food you see in Nigeria, they are being, the farmlands and the production is being done from the villages. So if there is no opportunity for these people to go to the farm, meaning we are in danger. And you know why I'm so angry with this government? When Tinubu was campaigning, he told most of the people that are supporting him that he don't have plan for insecurity, because if he has plan for insecurity, that they will kill him. How can a president of a country or somebody who is vying for a presidency, he don't have plan for security, that if he ever tried to have a plan for security of his nation, that people will kill him? Who will kill you? So that is why I'm so worried. What is your comment about this?
That is, I don't remember him saying that, but wow, that's crazy. I mean, he's the commander-in-chief, per se, of Nigeria. You're supposed to make sure that your people are protected and secure. That's your job.
Exactly.
And wow, he sounds very selfish. I'm sorry to say, to put it mildly, but just, you're supposed to protect the people. You're supposed to serve the people. You're supposed to make sure your people are okay. You're not supposed to look out for yourself. Oh, wow, that's
it's most unfortunate. It's most unfortunate. I don't really know. So I really want you to say something about it, because people don't know what is going on in Nigeria.
Yeah, I know it. I first started coming 2021 to Nigeria, and when I went back to the United States, I would tell people, hey, Nigeria is really going through some hard times. They're suffering. You guys was going through it even during the pandemic, and I was, trying to sound the alarm and tell people where I'm from, hey, Nigeria needs help. Nigeria, unfortunately, people the left has done a really good job of portraying Nigeria to be, nothing but scammers and not in need or what have you. But that's so untrue. And I used to get very angry and tell people that's not true. Everybody is not like that. There's real, genuine need in Nigeria. And we need to help them. We need to help people. And I mean, not help so that you can get something in return help. I'm talking about just helping because it's the right thing to do. We're sending money to Ukraine, Israel, and everywhere else. But we can't help Nigeria. We can't help people on the continent. That's wrong. And I was trying to let people know years ago, the need is real here. But, everybody was going through their own things. And then, the pandemic had everybody hypnotized, whatever. And so, here we are in 2024, and everything's coming to a head now because Tinubu is in office and he's doing whatever it is he's doing or not doing, whatever. And, I mean, the one thing I could say is I'm glad that Nigeria is getting international attention right now because the world needs to see Nigeria is really in need. There are people that are suffering in Nigeria. There are people that are hungry in Nigeria. There are kids that haven't been to school all year. I come across people every day in need, can't pay medical bills. There's no emergency room here in Nigeria. If someone has an injury or they're sick and they go to the hospital, they don't have money to pay for your medical bills, you're not going to get seen, you're not going to get treated. There are people in real, genuine need here. And we in the world, I don't know if people back home are listening or world is listening to this, we need to help. We need to intervene because you see what the government, maybe you don't see, but the government is not helping the people.
Absolutely no. They are not helping the people. Now, I want to take you to the another angle that is not too related to the protest. Like, if you have been to United Kingdom, I know you are an American. In America, the system of politics is then that you have the county police, you have police at all levels, but here we don't have state police, we don't have local government police. That is why we are you have conflicts like Wales, different from Scotland. All these people are united. Now, why is it that Nigeria cannot disintegrate or form a confederation where each regions will manage their own security, where each regions will manage the affairs of their region, like what they are doing in UK? UK have a referendum, and all these countries, they were able to separate from the Great Britain. But in Nigeria here, when you talk about the issue of referendum, they will call you a criminal. If you talk about the issue that this country should have a peaceful, referendum is like when you go out to vote. It's a civil something, but the government will come against you. What do you have to say about that?
Okay, you did cut off a little bit on me, but I did get the end part of what you were saying about the referendum.
Yeah, like the government is against referendum. If you talk about the issue of referendum that you're supposed to go to your own separate country, the government will come against you.
And you're talking about a referendum that's in effect only within Nigeria, correct?
Yeah, within Nigeria.
Well, if a peaceful resolution cannot be, if the government cannot meet the needs or won't meet the needs of the people have the right to seek other means of governance. They don't have to just say, I'm just going to submit to bad governance because that's all I have. No, you have a right to assert yourself. It's called self-determination. You have a right to say, hey, you know what, maybe we need to just, do this, and whether that's in the form of a referendum or whatever you call it, you do not have to be subjected to human rights violations for decades. Right now, people can't find fuel to put in their vehicles or in their generators because the electricity is not always on.
Okay.
You know, people should not have to live like that for decades. This is not just after a natural disaster. This is not just for a few hours or maybe even a week.
Mm.
Nigerians are forced to live in disaster mode.
Mm.
And they have to live in disaster mode for decades. And that's not right. That's wrong.
Absolutely.
So I say if a referendum, do whatever you have to do to assert your human rights and make sure that you're being treated like human beings. All of us are born with the right to be treated like a human being. Nobody can take that away from us.
All right. Thank you so much. Well, Lorna, maybe I have to reschedule this interview where you will come to the screen and talk to the people. I really want to appreciate your time, your truthfulness, because you are able to talk the truth. You're able to say the facts because the truth cannot hide itself. So I really appreciate you. I really appreciate your time. So I believe you have more or, one or two things to tell us. So you can leave us with your words, the summary of everything you have said in this broadcast.
Well, again, I encourage you, Nigeria, to just keep doing what you're doing. Keep standing up for yourselves. Please understand, don't be afraid, and I don't see fear anywhere in the picture now. And I'm proud of you guys. I'm so proud to just be here and to see the boldness and the courage and the wisdom, and just, I love it, and just keep it up. And again, I'm going to, if it's okay with you, Mr. Marcel, to post the link to the United Nations Human Rights complaint form. If you choose to submit a human rights complaint violation to the United Nations,
definitely.
You can do that. It's easy.
Definitely, we'll do that.
And thank you for having me. And I'm sorry about the network issues. You know, it is what it is. We're subject to the network, but thank you for having me.
All right,
and
I really
thank
appreciate
you for all that you do.
All right, thanks you so much. We'll have you another time. We hope to have you another time.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
All right.
When trouble sleep, Yaga go wake up. But he define, he define, he go catch you. He go get when can sleep, black go bite him tail. But he define, he define, he go catch you. Say no same job. You sit down for house. He dey look for job. Mr. Lala come wake him up. He say, Mr. Pay me your rent. What he dey find? He dey find. Lala, he go get you go. He go get Lala. My friend has come from prison. He dey look for work. Waka day and night. Policeman comes up and for road. He say, Mr. Tell you for my brain. What he dey find? He dey find. Baba, he go get you. He go get Baba. Mr. Husband married for church. He do big party. Then start for this rum. Because he loved the wife. Mrs. Wife gone away. Back manager ran come. He said, Mr. Pay me your debts. What he dey find? Legacy, he dey find. Baba, he go get you. He go get Baba. When trouble sleep, Nyanga go wake up. But he dey find. He dey find. Baba, he go get you. He go get.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Coach, I greet you, bro.
Thanks for joining us, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you very much for your good work, brother. I appreciate you. God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Tell us your name and where you are calling from.
Yeah, my name is Moses. I'm calling from Delta State.
Ah, we're in Delta State.
I'm calling from Warri.
Ah, Warri. Okay. So how is the situation in Warri? I learned that from Muwendi and some part of Warri that they were brutal on protesters. How true is it?
The very first day that the protest starts everywhere, Sheriff Ishem wanna give what do you call it, the talk and who are there to say for people that people not come out and protest, that they are doing Kilomega is walking on that road, and they do protest, they go disrupt the road. The protest they do, not people remain Nigeria.
Yeah.
Make all go. Sheriff they give them money. Why give them money to stop protests? That's the governor. Why?
Serious.
Evil everywhere. Evil everywhere in Nigeria. Evil everywhere. Okay, if they give you 10,000, that's not going to finish. Well, many people don't come outside for protest. So I worry. Don't be saying they're not ready to protest. They're ready to protest. You understand? Because everybody is they are afraid for Nigeria. It's one guy to everybody they are afraid. And what you want to believe is saying, I don't want this protest as they go for internet. What our Nigerian will do is very wrong. It's very wrong. You have your wife, you have your children, you have your brother. If you not affect you, police yourself. You affect your family. What's happening in this country?
That is right.
It affects you. Now, in the government, they kill innocent protesters. Why? It makes sense. It don't make sense. I mean, not sure that country where they do for that country. So I believe would they give them after 10 days? After 10 days, would they give them? They don't respond to what you want. They need to really assume they take out. Because enough is enough. Enough is enough. Nigeria, they are hungry. Nigeria youth, they invest. I tell you the truth. Also, when they talk, I mean, come out. I mean, shift someone they talk. I mean, police general they talk. All are nonsense. Nonsense. They fight for their pockets. They are fighting for the masses.
That is right, because yeah, I was telling them that you see, this protest and bad governance protest is an idea. It's different from every other protest, in the sense that what led to this protest is the bad governance, bad policies, and the corruptions in the government. So this protest is not going to end as people are thinking. Before you know, people will arise from here. Before you know, people will rise from here. And this protest is going to create an enmity between the politicians and the leaders that will make the politicians to be uncomfortable for the very first time in this country. Politicians must be uncomfortable. I was telling people that they should not respect politicians any longer, unless you have discovered that that politician is exempted based on his performance and his closeness to his people, because there is no essence of government without the people. So that is so unfortunate, my brother.
Yes.
It's unfortunate.
I understand, my brother. See what happened in Port Harcourt yesterday? As the people go to weekend yesterday,
yeah,
I believe now God save her. Now God save her. They say, I'm the police in that place. Now God save her.
You see, most of
I didn't get in the house. God save them. Because that man is a wrong, it's evil wrong. The man is there. You do for this for too much.
That is right. That is right.
You said when people being weak for ever destiny, you turn upside down because of wickedness.
And the question I'm asking them today is this country, is it the country they rigged that election for? Is this the country they start people who are voting for candidates that is not their candidate? Like the same question I asked Gowon last year. Is this the country you kill almost 300 million for? To protect the border that a man like you created. A man like you created a border and you kill 3 million people to make sure the border remain the same. And after killing people, look at the country. It's a laughing stock. is a laughing stock. So anyway, thank you so much, my brother. We have to have another call. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
Let the president
yeah.
Let me say one word before I go.
All right.
Let the president address. Let the president address.
Are you there? Are you there? I can't hear you again. Oh, we lost the call.
Somebody told me about it. Make no more, see the little boy. He said to me, "Love, love, something."
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, I just lost the previous call I was in. We have not finished, but unfortunately, the call cut. Please tell us your name and where you are calling from.
Okay, my name is Sonny Uche. I'm calling from Switzerland.
Sonny Uche from Switzerland. Thanks for joining us.
Yes. Yeah, thank you very much for your work. I've been following you all this while.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
We can hear you.
Okay, now a message for those protesting, kudos to them. It's not easy. You see, Nigeria is a rotten state. Nigeria cannot work. It can never work. Forget it. It's a shame after 64 years independent. Maybe 1 meter forward, 2,000 meters backward.
Has there been any meter forward?
Not really. Maybe a meter. Maybe during the 70s and early 80s.
And we have not been independent.
So you see, Nigeria. Listen, I see the problem with most Africans, mostly Nigerians, who don't do research. Don't do research. See, Nigeria is not a country. Nigeria was not formed. Nigeria was formed for the interest of the of British. Nigeria was a company before. It was a Royal Niger company. It was a company. It was a company. Those Royal Niger company, those Royal Niger guys, they established their trade at the coastal parts. So when the British learned that the French were coming from Niger, from Cotonou, they now sent for this idiot Lugard, because he's a militant. He now came to Nigeria and forced everybody together. You see, so how can a man create a country for you? How can a man create a country? Google, who created Germany? Who created America? Who created France? Google it, you see. Then Google, who created Nigeria? A psychopath. You understand? So you see, the Royal Niger Company, it was a business interest. You understand? Before the British now came and bought the Royal Niger Company with about £867,000 or so. They just bought the company. So they just from Nigeria. So you expect Nigeria to work? Nigeria can never work. Can never. Before Nigeria will work, we must call all the components, all the representatives. We sit down when we talk how we want to grow this country. Nigeria should do research. All the Western countries we are all running to, they fought brutal before they now fought on the common civilized ground. Everybody fight. French Revolution, even in Switzerland, they fought one of the best democracies in the world. Well, so when people should do research, by now, people should be marching from every part of Nigeria to Abuja, to stop Abuja. How can you, in a country, have ITP camps, Nigerians as refugees, then you are building 21 billion naira house for this Boko Haram from Chitima? How? Even people will go to art for 90 billion and education 5 billion, then you people are not Nigeria. You see, we should stop all this mistake. All this coming out on television, talking, they're just lying. Forget it, now it's time for action. We should move back to our zero. And of course, someone, turn this away and form a country for themselves. You understand? How can you look at let me go like this? An ordinary man in Nigeria, a common man, struggling to survive. Struggle. With your wife, train children, finish. They go university, they come out, no job. Who they cause them? The full idiot. These guys, they are protecting their interests. People have a refinery in Malta. All these things are game. The common Nigerians must rise up. They must rise up. Take away fear. Not the life when they live here, when they exist. Not the life when they live life. You guys are just existing there. That's not life. You stand up, you mandate, up and join, grow up, you don't begin again. The same circle. Since how many years? The same circle. My brother, the only few of us who got the inspiration and ran away there. Thank God because of this side. If we organize our family, if we organize one. Otherwise, our devil will still there. They do, we don't go pray, we don't go pray. So the people should rise up. They should rise up. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, my brother. Thank you so much.
Somebody told me about it. Make no more, see the little boy. He said to me, rise out of faith. He said to me, education is a key. I said,
Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, good afternoon over here.
Okay, good morning from my side, Mr. Kocha.
All right, please tell us your name and where you are calling from.
Yeah, my name is King. I'm calling from the US. I just want to react to that last guy that just spoke and was saying that Nigeria is founded by whatever is getting its history from.
Okay.
And you are saying that Nigeria will not work. I don't think this is what we need this time. There is no country, there are countries that are worse than what is happening in Nigeria. Doesn't mean it will not work. The only way for it to work is what is going on right now. You don't stay in Ireland and US and be complaining about Nigeria when you are not doing anything. Sorry for my voice because I'm in gym anyway. So I just want to let people understand that this ideology that you will call it without making any views, giving us, even America is founded. So I don't know where he's getting his history that Nigeria is not founded. When they say Nigeria is founded, doesn't mean that it's because one person created Nigeria. Then he doesn't know his own history. I'm not trying to attack him, but I want us to take those kind of negative way of talking. But when you say things, people are very careful with what you are saying, and people listen to you. Nigeria is founded or not founded is not the story. How can we make our country great and better?
Yeah.
I live in the US, but that doesn't mean I don't like to go home. No matter where you go to, when you travel, you want to go back home. Look, there is a special and unique thing that we have as Nigerians, even as for those of us living outside the country. That is so special. Until you travel out, you will know that there are people that lack this thing we have. There are people that are just born in America, and America is just their home. They don't have any other place to fall back to. We do. As a Nigerian, I still fall back to Nigeria. And we still fall back to Nigeria. And we still make a lot of investments in Nigeria. For that reason, it is how to make Nigeria work.
Yeah, I really understand what you are saying. What you are saying is great. Then the concept of the guy, I know the guy was also reacting out of emotion, but the concept of the guy is that before the Nigeria can work, that every atom or every ethnicity, even though we are 600, just like what Goodluck Jonathan wanted to do, that the Buhari hijacked, everyone must come and said, we have to have a new constitution. This is how the country is going to go. Do you know that since Nigeria was founded, that indigenous people don't have constitution? We don't have constitution.
Yeah, I understand. I'm not like that's what I'm saying. I'm not really here to whether to criticize everything that you said is wrong.
I understand.
But I want us to stop that negative attitude of what we say. American, in all their life, even as a kid, all they know that America is going to be great. The worst government even you're having in America, even as Donald Trump keep coming and tell you that, oh, make America great again. America will be great. In God we trust in this, that these are the changes we have to make.
Exactly.
If I can be something with a passport,
yeah.
That is not right with evil and stupid stuff on it.
Yeah.
Like those youth that you even know what they have for. In your passport, that is already a cost. We have to change those things. But let me tell you something. It doesn't start in a day. It doesn't you again. Nigeria is really terrible because we give these people too much time. Because of the tribal settlements that they put in people. That it will fail. And we can tell it's already failing.
That is right. But all these leaders, you know the problem, all these leaders, do they believe what you are saying now?
That is what we are saying. Because the leaders are the people.
They don't believe what we are saying, you know, and they are not ready to listen to what you are saying.
I understand. This is the point.
Yeah.
They don't need to believe it. If they don't believe it, we will push them out. Again, that is what is always people of evil always say in power. Why would they believe what you believe? But they go in and the rest enjoy free education. Even in my own time, I got free education until I got back to the university. But that doesn't mean you don't know how to tell people that they should have free education. Do you know what it means? Adepoye and Tinubu, even with free education, Tinubu did not even go to school. He couldn't even go to school. Tinubu is older than me, so he cannot tell me there was no free education when he was there. Even with Fred, when he goes to school, is he not telling people to come and take it? You know, they just talk all this rubbish from different places. The question is, when you travel abroad, is that what you see? That is the surprising thing.
But like what you see in America, and like the system you see in America, in your own county, you have county police, right?
Come again, what was the last question?
In your own local council, they call it county, right?
Yeah.
In America, you have even their own police, right?
Police is
yeah, we have county police in America.
I will respond to that.
Yeah, we have county police in America. We have each state have their own courts. Each state have their own Supreme Court. So the system, the political system in America is different from political system in Nigeria. So what we are clamoring for is that there must be a change of system. Like UK, you see how United Kingdom is. United Kingdom is not one country. You have the Wales, you have the Ireland, you have the Scotland, but all of them are in the United Kingdom. Different passports, different countries. Because there is no two indigenous people that can succeed well without having that kind of thing. That is all we wanted to achieve in Nigeria. But the government, they don't understand and they don't want to understand.
I agree. This is it. You know that it is only when Nigerian government wants to teach, they will start quoting Nigeria, quoting America. One of the things, the most stupid thing they say is American legislators receive $160,000. But they never tell you what the citizen receives. There is no legislator that wants to receive the money that America is receiving. That is the problem we are facing.
You understand?
The American system only when they want to cheat. But no legislator has come up to say, oh, American government do this. American government does this for the citizen. Yeah. American government sends people to school for free if you are qualified. Yeah. American government does this. They don't. Yeah. They only talk of only when they want to steal. You understand?
Yeah. The last question I'm going to ask you, do you think that Nigeria will work with this system without changing it?
No. That is what is going on. The revolution, look, it was in the video is that the revolution was everywhere. And they removed most of the president diversity. It must happen. Okay? One is enlightenment, understanding. The Yorubas and the rest. Look, if it was before, you know how many people police must have killed by this time, and the army. But the army and the police is already understanding that one, these are their families. They themselves are what they're doing. They know it's a difficult time. So they pretend to ignore what they are giving them as order to do. That is what they call change.
Okay.
So now the North and the West, before the Yoruba were saying, oh, it's a Yoruba man. Only reach everybody I clear. There is no Yoruba man.
It's all right.
It must come to this stage for changes to happen.
Okay.
And that is what is happening. So my point is, people should stop coming on and telling people that Nigeria will not.
Yeah, what they mean is this current system, or people have different concepts.
They should not say it out like Nigeria will not work.
But Nigeria can only work. You yourself know it if this system is changed. But with this system, Nigeria cannot work.
Look, even to know that this system is not working.
Yeah, so that is what they are saying.
Everybody knows. So
yeah, that's what they are saying.
It will work for my brother. Nigeria needs to work.
All right, sir. I really appreciate your time, your contribution, and everything.
Okay.
Thank you so much, sir.
Have a wonderful one. I used to listen to you sometimes.
All right. I really appreciate that. Okay.
Yeah, bye.
All right.
Somebody told me about it. He said, education is a key.
Hello.
Yeah, hello, Mr. Kocha.
Good afternoon, sir. Thanks for joining us.
How are you doing, my brother?
Fine, fine. Your name and where you are calling from?
My name is Ejike, and I'm calling from Spain.
Thanks for joining us. I believe you have been with us for a while and you know what we are discussing, right?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. We are discussing about the
All right.
about the prophet and about how things are going.
Yeah, in few minutes, just go straight to the point and tell us what you think.
Yes.
Just react to what is going on.
Yes, my brother. What I want to say, believe it or not, I wish this protest will change something in Nigeria, but I doubt it. I doubt.
And why?
Because do you know why I doubt it?
No.
Because many Nigerians are suffering from Stockholm syndrome.
Okay.
So many of them.
Okay.
Which means they are in love with their captors. They enjoy where they are.
Okay.
Yes, I don't think hungry has beaten Nigeria enough. It's not because I'm not in Nigeria, but because of what I have seen so far from the beginning of this protest. Yeah, Nigeria have not seen enough. I want to believe that Nigeria haven't seen enough.
So you want us to suffer more for us to understand what it means to face the government.
My brother, many people, I can say that many people have not suffered enough. You know, this protest could be the opportunity to do something. I mean, to change the country. To change this protest could be an opportunity. But I have had opportunity to call so many people in Nigeria and ask them how this protest is going. Are you protesting? Many people were like, oh, let them do this thing finish. Let me go back to my shop, or let me go back to my work. Are you hearing me?
We are with you.
Yeah, that is what the response I have from so many people in Nigeria. Let them do this. Let me go back to my business. So I see that we haven't suffered enough. Let me give you one. Let me say this before I drop. Let me say this I drop. Because people think that we that in Europe, we are enjoying. Brother, let me tell you, 85% of people in Europe, they want to come back home. Let me be honest to you.
I raise hand for you for that statement.
We want to come back home.
Now, let me chip in one thing. Now, let me put one thing there. People will ask you, if they want to come back home, why have they not come back? Let me tell you, they have not come back not because Nigeria is so bad, though. They have not come back because they don't see what to fall back to if they come back. Most of them sold land, sold houses to travel abroad. After 10 years, they are unable to build the same house. So things are not easy for them over there as well. So I understand what you said.
My brother, let me just I want to give another person chance to talk. But let me close with this. Do you know that my son want to come back to Nigeria to study? Do you know?
Okay.
Do you know that so many people, the people that are, all these artists in Nigeria and the actresses in Nigeria, many of them were born abroad. They came back home to study and become what they are today. That was then. And if people are like so many Nigerians who have their children abroad, their children don't know the culture, their children don't know anything. The opportunity is to send these people, send our children home, let them study, let us pay the school fees, and Nigeria will be we are going to be paying, it will be turn around. Not people going out to Nigeria to study, it will be people coming back home to study.
Yeah.
But let me tell you what will shock you. My son who want to study aviation, do you know that within the eastern part of Nigeria, there's no aviation school there?
Okay.
We have aviation school in Zaria, which is the best in Nigeria. We have some part in Lagos, which is very good. But do you know eastern part? Because my son want to stay within the eastern part so that he can be going home, staying with my mother, staying home at least around. Do you know there's no aviation school in eastern part? This is Nigeria for you. Brother, I wish that country, I don't know what I can wish that country, my brother. I just hope that this protest can change something in that country. But I doubt it. I really doubt. I wish it can do something, but I doubt it.
All right. Thank you so much for your opinion.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Okocha, for
we believe we can do it. We believe we can do it.
Yeah.
You know, we are not just saying. We are not, people used to misunderstand this struggle about Nigeria. People think that we are just trying to make the current system workable. The current system cannot work. That is what everybody knows, including the president knows about what I'm saying. Even in 1999, he said he don't believe in one Nigeria. That is, we are talking about more than 20 years ago. So, the current system, there must be a change of system. Like I was telling the last caller before you that in United Kingdom, Wales is a different country from the Ireland. Ireland is different from the Scotland. Nigeria have to have like 3 or 4 countries in the same one united country if they want to be together.
That will help the country.
It will help the country, you understand? But people who are benefiting from this contraption, from this corruption, sabotaging our crude oil production, our refinery, everything, they will not stand and hear you say this because
they will not allow it.
That is the situation, my brother. That is true. So thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.
All right, sir. Thank you so speak to you now. Let's go back to what is trending in Nigeria. Akwa Ibom National Youth Service Corps coordinator and driver declared missing. Fear of kidnapping grew. And when we are talking about end bad governance, people will say we don't know what we are saying. You understand? So the fear of kidnapping is growing and growing every day. The other day in my state, in Delta State, one of very nice lady, God-fearing politician, a former House of Assembly member, a former commissioner, was abducted from the church. The 2 police that was attached to her was killed, and she's still in detention up till now. And when we come out to talk about end bad governance, some people will come out to say, hey, you don't know what you are saying, keep quiet. Tinubu is trying and this and that. But you know what? Everything we sold about this government, both people who supported this government, what they are going to go through in the next few days is something that they cannot even talk about. But we believe that with this struggle, that we are going to skate through. Let's go to the next trending news.
When trouble sleep, nyaga go wake am. But he dey find, he dey find. Malala, he go get you. He go get Malala. When can't sleep, black go bite him tail. But he dey find, Malala, he dey find. Malala, he go get you.
There have been a lot of unrest in Imo State. There have been a lot of shooting in Imo State. There is ongoing civil war in Imo State, but nobody is talking about it. But that is not what I want to talk about. The Imo State governor or government allocates 8.5 billion for lawmakers' vehicle. amidst hardship and hunger. When people are protesting because of bad governance, these people don't listen. They keep on doing what they are doing just to buy, the legislatures. I don't know how many they are. They are not even up to 22. They want to buy them the vehicle that is worth 8.5 billion. And when you talk, they will tell you that forget about it. Nigeria is going to work. How can a country work in this way? How? Are Nigerians for sale? Nigerians are not for sale now. You remember that earlier I reported that Nigerian military shot dead a 16-year-old boy in Kaduna State during protest. The Nigerian army admitted that yes, it was a mistake that they shot dead somebody. You know what they did today? The Nigerian army gave 300,000 to the family of the boy. 300,000. In other words, they bought the boy. They bought him with 300,000. And you can't talk, you understand? You can't talk. If you talk, they will show you that they have the power. But you know what? The power of the people is here to stay. Somebody told me about it. It is breaking that Libya repatriates 163 Nigerian migrants, including women and children. If not because of bad governance, if not because of this contraption called Nigeria, if not because of failed government that we have in Nigeria, what has Nigerians to do in, Libya that is ravaged with war, with crime, with uncertainty? What are we supposed to be doing in Libya, if not because of the situation that Nigerian politicians put us? Well, I believe that one day all these things will become a story, but it will not become a story if we continue to complain without action. And that is why we have risen. Somebody told me about it. How much are we going to pay for our freedom, Nigerians? How much are we going to pay for our freedoms? Anyway, that comes to the end of this broadcast. Please kindly join me at 12 in the midnight. For those of you who don't start work very early, I think you can join the broadcast at midnight, 12 a.m. Nigerian time. It's a broadcast where we discuss the state of our nation, and in that broadcast, it's just basically a public opinion broadcast where people will also come and share their opinion about the state of our nation. You know why? Nigeria is going to set a record where politicians must fear the citizens. That is only where we can talk things will come to happen. That is where we can only talk that we can only tell the government to reduce the price of fuel, they will listen. Tell them to conduct a referendum, they will listen. Tell them to do this, they will listen. If not, the politicians are like demigods. They are not going to be listening to us. And that is why I'm going to leave you with these quotes. Anytime the people are afraid of the government, there is tyranny, there is oppression. But anytime the government is afraid of the people, there is a freedom. So join us while we continue to make sure that the people will have freedom, because the power belongs to the people. If today is your first time of coming here, do me a favor and subscribe to this channel. And if you have been coming, thanks for always joining me. See you later in the evening. Thanks.
These youths, these various groups that have been protesting, have given the signs within the course of the last 6 months that due to the state of the nation, we are in dire straits. There's hunger in the land, there's starvation, there are issues of misgovernance, bad governance, insecurity, and, you know, a plethora of issues that have been, you know, bicycled all over the media. I don't need to, you know, revisit them. But what is happening is that these hydra-headed monsters that we're talking about are largely responsible for the protests. One would have expected that the Nigerian state and the minders of the president and those in charge of the management of information would have read the signs and would have sat down in a situation room, a war situation room, sort of, a crisis situation room, to debate, to analyze, to make SWOT analysis of the areas of strengths, weaknesses, and what have you, and advise the president holistically, but advise him truly. It does appear from my little experience of the days that I was a reporter in Dorden Barracks to, you know, the time that I covered the presidency up to the presidential villa some, you know, a decade and a half ago. There are people in government that are afraid to look at their principal in the face and say, Mr. President, there is a problem with this and this and that. They are afraid that they might lose their jobs. And so you have a president that is almost literally cocooned within the presidential villa, not probably given the requisite information. Probably he does not have the, you know, the kind of knowledge that will make him, you know, come up with an informed decision. Or people are just applying a laissez-faire attitude and approach to issues that are critical to our national survival. And they don't seem to worry. When people, you know, told us about the credentials of the president coming on board as a candidate and now as a president, they paraded his credentials, you know, leading Lagos. But at the time he left Lagos, there was a 12-year interregnum between Fashola and Ambode, and another probably 4 years of Sanwo-Olu. So there appears to have been a situation where we have a president that does not have the sufficient knowledge of leading a nation at the national level and coming with the mindset of Lagos. And in Lagos, he was, you know, like you said, an imperial leader. But that is not to say, I know you infer, but that is not to say that the president is not smart,
right,
or that he is not competent to lead Nigeria. No, it is, we are all in this together. Right now, as I speak to you, what I expected was to have seen the minders of the president, everybody, coming on board.
I'd like you to land on that. So sorry, I need to, come in again.
Yes.
Can we really put all of the blame at the doorstep of the president? What about the governors who are closer to the people? And let's even narrow it down to how, this protest went on in the North generally. In spite of there's a Northeast Development Commission, there's a Northwest Development Commission that was just set up only recently.
Yes.
Does it say a lot about the level of discontent in the North? And can you put all the blame at the doorstep of the president?
No, not at all. The president said it himself that the buck stops at his desk.
Right.
All right. And Nigerians elected the president to perform, to deliver on good governance. And so the president cannot escape our scrutiny and criticism. When you look at the governors, the character, the behavior, the way they lead, mostly you're talking about the northern governors, right? But governors generally, there is this display of extravagance, of what do you call it, obscene opulence. Convoys that will drag 15 to 20 cars. And not only the governor's convoys, no, you have the convoys of their first ladies. And the governors are sitting on, it's like an empire. They call the shots. They do everything. And the Nigerian population, the Nigerian public, the peasants, the laymen that we think don't understand what is happening, you can cut, there is palpable discontent and anger that you can literally cut through with knife. In the North, if I take a minute to land. In the North, we have, a biting state of insecurity. Sokoto, Zamfara, Kebbi, and Katsina are literally on a lockdown. There is hardly more than 15 to 25% of agricultural activities going on in those states. The lands, the territories have been taken over and overridden by bandits. So people are no longer on the farms. People are angry. They're not asking for you to build roads for them or create, estates for them. They are only asking for a measure of security to be in place so that they can get back to their normal lives.
Do we understand the implication of what we're dealing with? Listening to you, one is tempted to ask the long-term implication of these protests, these hunger protests in the Northeast and specifically in northern Nigeria. Do the people, the leadership of Nigeria, northern Nigeria, Northeast, understand the dire situation which you just painted?
I think they are completely detached from the people. They are detached from the people in the sense that they would rather deal with courtiers. They would rather deal with people that will be the yes men, that will tell them what they want to hear instead of what obtains on ground. The governors would rather deal with their yes men, their surrogates, and their pretenders all over. How do you explain the level of poverty in the North? And you have governors. The president just said a couple of weeks ago, a couple of days ago, through the Minister of Information, the amount of money that was released by the federal government to states. Until that information came out, some of us didn't even know. Let me draw a kind of, let me give you a narrative, something that happened with, Dr. Reuben Abati, myself, and former President Goodluck Jonathan.